Hold up, don't buy Extinction yet. I need to talk about it, and I need to explain to you guys everything that's coming to it and what to expect before you pay $19.99 plus tax to buy this game. Don't do it yet. Just give me a few minutes to explain it, alright? So watch this video, the entire video, before you buy Ark Extinction. Trust me, it's either going to save you $20 or it's going to make you be the happiest person and the best $20 that you've ever spent in your life. So let's start out with the first thing. What to expect when you first buy this game. So obviously it's going to be a very big expansion pack. This thing is loaded with so much, so it is going to take a little while to download, but once this thing is downloaded, there are so many new features. Alright, so we're going to start off with the first one, Orbital Drops. These are drops that come down from the sky in random places on the map, and what these do, you can literally get so much loot from these. So when these drop down, they look like kind of a, I guess, a pod that kind of sticks into the ground and it comes down at random spots, and the goal of these drops is to defend it. So when you go near it, you can activate it, and what happens is a force field comes up, and when this force field comes up, a ton of corrupted dinos will try to attack that force field in order to destroy the drop. If they destroy the drop, you lose this little mini game. But if you go through all, I don't know how many rounds there are, but there are a few rounds depending on which tier you get, but if you survive all of the rounds, you will get a lot of really good loot. So there are a few different tiers of this. The lowest one is blue, which will give you okay loot. You know, it's okay. It's nothing insane, but you'll get different types of like Mastercraft and Ramshackle stuff. And the hardest one, I believe, is a lavender purple type one. That's what the wildcard developers said. So that hard one, there's going to be a lot of rounds, kind of like Call of Duty Zombies. If you guys have ever played Zombies, it's kind of like that. There's a ton of rounds that's going to come, rounds of corrupted dinos that you're going to have to kill in order to protect this force field and the generator orb drop thing that's in the middle. And if you do end up doing that, you will get a ton of loot. So theoretically, let's say that you're on round 7, right? And you are in the middle of the round, it's getting so hard, the force field's already been destroyed, and now that orbital drop is getting attacked by dinos, and you and your tribe just can't kill them. And then that drop, it gets destroyed, the health goes from full to 0, you lose. All that loot is gone. You don't get any like complimentary or, you know, anything. You don't get any loot if that thing is destroyed. But let's say before round 7 starts, you and your tribe, you're like, I don't think I can do this. We can't do this, guys. We're gonna lose next round. We're already down on resources. You can cash out and take all the loot that you have so far, and you just won't get the rest of it. That's pretty much it. It's not that hard of a concept to really understand. That is the orbital drops. If you guys have questions, make sure you just leave it down below. I will answer all of them. Moving on to the next one though, how to tame the Titans. So you guys have heard about the Titans. I even made a video about them in my last video. I believe I talked about them, but pretty much these Titans, they are summoned from a cave run. You need to complete the cave run. Not really sure if it's like you can bring dinos in or it's on foot. But once you finish this cave run, you summon the Titan. So whatever biome you're in, let's say you're in the ice biome, you summon the ice Titan. If you're in the desert biome, you summon the desert Titan. There's 4 different types of Titans, so 4 different biomes where they spawn. So if you summon this thing, you can actually tame it. So the way to tame it, you guys already know about the corruptiveness and how Extinction is really based around being corrupted, and how there's this like corruptiveness that can attach to different dinos and different structures and different people, or skins rather. So if you look at the Titan, you will see there are some type of like purplish LED like balls attached to it. And pretty much what you want to do is destroy all the corruptiveness on the Titans. And after you do that, there is a way to tame this. So the developers haven't exactly told us or introduced the method on how to actually tame it. All we know is that the more damage you do to it, once the corruptiveness is gone, the higher level it will be and the better it is. So once you tame this Titan, it will take 5 days until it actually dies. It's just gonna die, just like a Titanosaur. It dies after 5 days, and it comes with a free saddle. You don't have to make it. It comes with the saddle, which is awesome. And these things, at least the ice one, it can jump, it throws ice blocks, and it freezes other dinos, which is insane. So obviously each Titan is going to have its own different abilities, but that is what the ice Titan has. So that is pretty much it for how to tame Titans and what they can do. And we will try to come up with more information, and I'll let you guys know if there's any more info on how to tame these things. But on to the next one. So next, let's talk about taxidermy. So you guys all know what taxidermy is, hopefully. It's when you stuff a wild animal's skin or pelt with like stuffing, and it makes it look like a real animal head or real animal body. And they're now introducing this into Ark. So in order to get a taxidermy skin and put it in your base as like a trophy, and it's really cool, they're like miniature, pretty much you have to kill a wild dino and you will get one dermy. And what these dermy, I think it's dermy or maybe it's dermis, whatever it is, you'll get one of these and you use this to make the taxidermy. They haven't explained exactly how, but all you need to know is that you will get the supplies you need from killing wild dinos. Or let's say you tame a dino. When you tame it, you will get one of the dermis or dermies, and then with this you can use it just the same way if you killed a wild dino. And then let's say your living tamed dino dies, you'll get another dermy. So there's a way to get a couple dermy. There's different ways to get them: tame them or just kill wild dinos. And you can place these taxidermy on a pedestal to show it off like a trophy. It is just insane. Like right here, you can see on the screen, this is incredible. Like, these are so cool. They're like little miniature decorations. So that's pretty much taxidermy, but let's move on to the next one. This is biomes and how they really work. So the biomes are a little confusing at first. Once you get used to it, you'll understand. But pretty much, here's the backstory. All the biomes in Extinction, they're like little globes. And if you saw with the Overseer and all that, if you know the whole storyline for Ark Survival, pretty much there were little globes and different biomes in the Overseer's like spot. And now these little globes, I believe there's 4 or 5 of them, they were scattered throughout the map. And with each biome, they all have like a little force field, or it looks like a little globe in the map. So when you're flying around the map or traveling, you'll see like a huge force field, almost looking like a globe. And inside there's different biomes. And in between all these different biomes, there is the wastelands, which is just, I've already talked about it. It's kind of just like run down. It looks like deserty, and there's the corrupted dinos in it, which can kill you. But anyways, back to the force field and the whole biomes and how they work. Pretty much once you walk into a biome, everything around you, even in the outskirts or whatever is next to you, everything looks like that biome. Let's say you walk into an ice biome, everything around you will look like snow. The mountains outside of the globe itself will look like snow. But once you leave that globe and leave the force field, everything will go back to normal. It'll look like how it's supposed to look like, and you can see where the biome is itself. So it's a little confusing. I hope you guys understood that. It honestly is a little hard to wrap around, but hopefully the gameplay helped you out and it explains a little bit better. But also in the wastelands, let's go on to that. The wastelands, like I said, separate each biome, and inside there's the corrupted dinos, which are all very aggressive. And the thing about these corrupted dinos with the purple like LED lights inside, that's what it looks like, kind of. I don't know why I call them LEDs, but pretty much these are very aggressive dinos. So every dino that is usually like a passive, they don't attack you if you go near it, they will attack you now. And the worst part about it, they can break metal structures. So I highly recommend you do not build in the wastelands. It will destroy all your structures. So next, we're going to talk about the cryopods. So if you guys ever watched Pokemon and how Pokemon actually works, with the Pokeballs, pretty much you can trap different wild creatures in a Pokeball. That's kind of coming over to Ark now with the cryopods. So these cryopods, if you go up to a dino which is tamed, you can actually like literally suck it into a little pod in your hand, which can be held in your inventory, which is insane. You can literally travel across the map with a cryopod and your dinos in your inventory. That's insane. So if you're trying to transfer your tame dino across the map and you have a saddle on it, let's say you put it in the cryopod with the saddle on, the saddle will stay on, but everything else in its inventory will be dropped, just like if you're transferring from server to server. But let's say you have a stego and you put it with the saddle into the cryopod. When you release it, it is not going to be as strong as if you never put it in the cryopod in the first place, because that saddle, it is kind of just overpowered if you think about it. Let's say you have a cryopod and you're going into battle and you just throw down the stego, it's gonna tank a lot, and that's a little overpowered. So what the devs did, if you put a tamed dino with a saddle into the cryopod, it's gonna come out and not have as much resistance to the bullets, if that makes sense. So it's gonna take much more damage if you put it into the cryopod with the saddle on. So also, these cryopods, you're like, what, do these decay? Are they just overpowered? How do they work, Matt? Well, I will tell you, these things, they decay in your inventory. I don't know the exact timing. The developers developers didn't really tell us anything about the timing on how long, but they do decay in your inventory. But let's say you're at your base and you want to just store a lot of dinos in these cryopods. You need a cryo fridge. So these cryo fridges, you can put up to 72 cryopods inside of them, and they literally can stay there forever. They don't run out of energy, they do not decay when in the fridge. But the twist is you need a tech generator in order to get a cryo fridge. So yes, tech is very hard to get, but let's say you're a lower level and you unlock one of these things. I'll tell you how to unlock it in a second here. But pretty much if you have one of these and you're a lower level, you can craft it, and I recommend only crafting them when you're just trying to transport and then you're gonna, you know, place it back down after the tame. I wouldn't do it if you're going in for long-term storage if you don't have a cryo fridge, just because it is gonna decay over time, and once these decay in your inventory, you know, it's gone forever. That tame is gone. It's not like it pops back out. It's done. So I do recommend if you're going to do long-term storage with these things, get a cryo fridge, get a tech generator, and then you can do it. But also these things, you can place them in the hotbar and throw them out just like a Pokeball when you want to use them. It's so funny. It's so cool. And keep in mind there is a cooldown. I believe it's like a 3-minute cooldown every time you use it. And then dinos, when they're in this cryopod, they gain XP much faster. So if you want to level up like a Giga, go on another Giga or another tame and kill a ton of things, and you can get XP for both of them. It's incredible, and you get more XP for whichever one is in the cryopod. Another thing about these cryopods, you can literally freeze the breeding and imprinting process. So let's say you're breeding something and it's halfway done, you can put it in a cryopod, put it away in a cryo fridge, and it will not like lose all of its mating and effectiveness and all that breeding, imprinting. It'll stay the same, which is incredible. Like, this is a game changer. You guys are probably asking, how do you actually get a cryopod? Well, if you remember the orbital drops that I talked about at the beginning of the video, pretty much if you complete even the lowest tier of these orbital drops, you will most of the time get one of the blueprints for a cryopod, which is really easy to make, to be honest. All that you need is like some oil and some crystal. It's not even that hard. But anyways, that is pretty much the cryopod. So let's move on to the next one here. We have the scouts. So if you don't know what the scouts already do or what they are, they look like little robots and drones that you can actually control with a pair of binoculars. You look in and you can move it around and scan different things. It's really interesting and really cool to have. And to get one of these, you have to go and find them. I believe they're in the city, and you can find blueprints for them by killing other wild scouts. So if you see a scout roaming around, kill that thing. If it's a higher level, you will get a higher level blueprint, and pretty much with this blueprint, you can craft a scout. And you're asking, where do you craft the scout? Well, you can go into the city, and there are different terminals around the city where you can craft them, and it'll tell you what you need. I believe you need some element and stuff like that. Everything you need, it's gatherable. You don't need to be a high level. And that's pretty much the scouts and how to use them, how to get them, and all that stuff. Holy moly, that was a lot of information I just thrown out. I was trying to stay on topic, and we went over the 5 main things: the orbital drops, the taming titans, the taxidermy, the biomes, the cryopods, and the scouts. Actually, that's 6, I just said 5. We went over the 6 main things, and I tried to stay on topic, and hopefully you guys learned a lot about Extinction. This was a very informational video. You guys probably know a lot of things that you didn't know before. Even if you only picked up 1 or 2 things, make sure to leave a like and comment below any questions. I'm going to try to respond to all of you guys' questions because I want you guys to feel comfortable with Extinction. It's coming out in a couple days here, and hopefully within the next week on console, so I want you guys to know everything about it. So make sure you leave a like and subscribe with post notifications if you haven't already, guys, because I'm going to be uploading so much, so just stay tuned for that. But anyways, I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.